you coming up on National Report.
Who has lived through the 50s, 60s, and 70s and can say with a straight face that America is a racist nation, that is patronizing.
That's just part of a new documentary set to air on Newsmax Sunday night discussing the state of politics in our nation today. We're going to speak to two people who were part of that film coming up.
What about BLM? I'm sure you can go on forever. Black Lives Matter?
Do I have to be nice? What kind of program is this before I say what I got to say? I think they full of shit. They are another group of people that have bamboozled, they have taken our history, is what they've done. Because let me tell you something about black folk. We don't believe in transgender. We don't believe in bisexual. We don't believe in abortions. We believe in none of that stuff. And it's a group of people that has taken our history and made it their agenda.
That is just part of a new film called Systematic Deception. It's going to be airing right here on Newsmax this Sunday night at 9 p.m. Eastern. How's that for a trailer? Joining us now to discuss is the creator of the film, alongside Allen West, who's a former Florida congressman, who's also in that documentary. Frank Panico is here with us as well. Guys, thanks so much for coming on today. Wow, that was enticing, to say the least. Frank, I'd like to start with you. Tell me more about this film.
Yes. Well, that firestorm of a woman you just saw, her name is Latresa Jones. She's running in District 10. I would totally vote for her. The film came to be, a woman reached out to me, Linnell Babbage, and she is black. And she said, Frank, I want to do a film that exposes the way the Democrats lie to the black community to keep them in their party. And she also said it could somewhat be based on her daughter's book, which is called Black History Bible. So I read the book, and it lined up with my ideas. So I kind of went from there, and it all started from there. And it discusses politics and religion, how they're very important things, even we're told to shut up about it. It touches base on abortion and how it needs to end. It touches base on critical race theory, and it's very much a good weapon against the Democratic Party. It goes for the jugular of the Democratic Party, and rightfully so, because they're for baby killing. And it should help us win elections.
Allen West, I know you make an appearance. Lieutenant Colonel, thanks for coming on today. This is a really interesting discussion that is taking place, because if we even recall, during the campaign for the 2020 presidential race, Joe Biden had a very clear message to black Americans saying if you didn't vote for him, you weren't black. Does this film challenge that narrative?
Well, it's great to be with you, Emma, and it absolutely does challenge that narrative. And you're looking and speaking with someone that was born in a blacks-only hospital in the inner city of Atlanta, Georgia, in 1961. I grew up in the same neighborhood that produced Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., the old Fourth Ward neighborhood. And so I understand our black history, the experience of the civil rights movement, and I've seen how the progressive socialist left has manipulated that history, has changed that message. You know, when you think about the longest filibuster in U.S. Senate history, it was the Democrats filibustering against the Civil Rights Act back in 1964. And you look at this debate that we're having today about Roe v. Wade. Well, no one is talking about Margaret Sanger, the white supremacist, the racist, who her whole intention of creating Planned Parenthood was because she viewed blacks as undesirables and weeds. So there's so much about the history that has to get out there, to include the Republican Party of Texas, that I used to be the chairman of, was established on July the 4th of 1867 by 150 black men.
Interesting. To look back at our history, it's so revealing as we look forward as well. And maybe, Frank, you can bring us up to more present day, where we've seen the Black Lives Matter organization, their movement really collecting a lot of donations. And we saw it over the summer of 2020. There have been recent questions as to where that money really went. So the New York Post looked into it, and they learned that one of the co-founders, Patrisse Cullors, had essentially sent her brother $800,000 for security purposes. Does this film also look into sort of where the money, where the funding goes in some of these organizations and groups?
Yes, it does. That's just the latest scandal by the farce called Black Lives Matter. It touches base on the $1 million homes that were purchased. It touches base on, if Black Lives Matter, maybe they should be out in front of Planned Parenthood protesting, because I think it's like 42% of all abortions in our nation are from just 7% of the population, which is Black women. And these abortion clinics are kept right in the neighborhoods of Black people. And Black Lives Matter is just a farce. I don't see them in the streets of Chicago, helping. I don't see them protesting in places where they should. And I just want to give my website out. I had forgotten. It's systematicdeceptionmovie.com. But Black Lives Matter is a big farce. This is just the latest scandal from them. If Black lives really mattered, they would be out handing out food and, helping Black communities and going to these inner cities. And, painting Black Lives Matter on the streets of a city doesn't count for anything.
Schooling and education, too. That's such an important topic. Really investing in Black communities to lift up the young voices. Alan West and Frank Panico joining us on the program with a little preview. A lot of people now excited to watch. Guys, thank you so much. Sunday, 9 p.m. on Newsmax.
Appreciate it, Emma.